Hello YouTube, InsaneJ here. A lot of people have been commenting on my videos lately, asking how I'm able to do the things that I do, as in flying or teleporting or being able to spawn items at will. Now, when you start a Minecraft server, there are a lot of different options you can pursue, and the thing that I chose to pursue when I started on this server adventure was to install big mods onto my server. And only a little while after I initially started my server on my laptop at home, I switched over to Bukkit. Bukkit.org offers a huge amount of resources for multiplayer servers. You install their server, which will be able to accept any sort of user, and it is just a modified version of the normal server. Gives you one or two more basic commands, and then you can install as many plugins as you want. That's what I designed my plugin in, and using all the Bukkit methods, using all the Bukkit terminology, and in the end, using the plugin while playing on a Bukkit server. But for things like flying in more single-player type mods, the best resource that I've ever come upon, besides the old Mr. M's light mod and grass mod, the most practical one is Zombies Mod Pack. Now, a ton of people out there have made tutorials, but since, as I said before, people have been requesting I do it, I'm going to give you this brief explanation on how to install any mod on your computer. It doesn't matter if there's ever been any other tutorials by me or by anyone else about this, I'm just going to approach it as if nothing has been talked about it before. So first you need to download the mod. Now, this method will work for just about any mod, so if you're trying to install something that isn't Zombies Mod Pack, and it doesn't have something very specific that you have to do with it, as in you have to use a mod loader or you have to open up a jar file in order to install it, then this is the method you're going to use. A lot of plugins even give you all the resources you need. You don't even need to do any of this stuff. You can just double click a button and then it's all done. But for us Mac users out there and the other people around the world who don't necessarily have tools at their fingertips to instantly do it, you're going to also want a tutorial. So I'm going to open up a new Finder window right here. Ignore some of these cluttered files. They shouldn't be there for you unless you're doing some little pointless stuff with the plugin like I am. So first you want to go into your home directory. In my case, my name is InsaneJ on my computer. Then you want to go into Library, Application Support, and then the undercase M Minecraft folder. In here you'll see a bunch of stuff. Most of the time you won't have a mods folder unless you've installed a mod before. Either way, I'm going to take all this stuff and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it into a folder on my desktop, because I don't actually want to reinstall mods, because I already have mods installed on my version of Minecraft. So I'm going to delete this stuff, or I'm going to paste this stuff. I don't want to delete anything, of course. And I'm going to delete the mods folder, and that should be it. So let's go ahead and tackle this thing. So in our mod pack folder over here, we have something called source, something called config, and something called classes. Now the source, if you couldn't have guessed, are all the Java files. This is what makes everything work. So if you were to look around in here, you could probably find out the mod that lets you fly, the mod that lets you do whatever you want. So if you are into programming, this is a perfect way to handle it. But, let's actually get into installing it. The config files you are going to put in your mods folder, but we'll get to that once we're done installing. So the first thing you want to do is open up your terminal. Then you want to change your directory to your desktop. Now, this step is normally underlooked or overminded by the people who make tutorials most of the time, but I find it nice if I can see everything right in front of me. Then you can type in mkdir or just right-click New Folder. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to call it TMP for now. Now, you want to change your directory to TMP by typing in cd tmp. Now, you want to type in jar xf, which is to decompress or decompile a jar file, and drag and drop the Minecraft jar into your terminal window. So it's located in the bin folder, as I showed you in the directory listing before, and it's just this thing right here. This is the actual Minecraft. The Minecraft is a jar file. Now, after a short amount of time, everything should blip away, and if you were to open up this right here, you'll see all these class files that Mojang has made. None of these have been necessarily modified before. They will normally look exactly like this. So you have a lot of kind of lazy stuff in here, but what we want to do is if you want to install all the mods or don't know which mods you want, you just want the ones you need, you're just going to want to take these and you can drag and drop. There are other methods, of course, of moving them in here. Dragging and dropping is the simplest. Now, a lot of times on Mac computers, a meta_NF folder is made. Sometimes it's not. For me, a lot of times it doesn't seem to show up, but I'm going to double check right here. I'm going to sort it by kind and go to the top. Okay, everything looks just fine. There are no meta_inif folders or anything strange that doesn't belong there. If you do find a meta_inif folder, it's best to just delete it and act like it never existed. Okay, we're almost done. Now just type in jar uf after making sure that you are in the current directory that has all your class files. And then you can just drag and drop the minecraft.jar file. Now, don't forget to type in another period and a slash. Once you hit enter, a little blip, and everything's done. What you just did was you unpacked everything in this minecraft.jar into a folder on your desktop. Then you modified it by dragging in the necessary classes from your mod into here. The class files are simply compiled versions of code. Then, once you were all done with that, you compiled it back in and replaced the original jar file with the one you just made with the class files. Okay, now we're completely done installing the mod. We just want to configure some of the options in case we don't want to enable certain plugins or want certain options. Now most of the time you don't even need to deal with this if you have a simplistic plugin like the grass mod. That you didn't need to do anything but install it. But for something like the zombies mod pack, you want to make a folder called mods, a folder inside that called zombie, and inside that drag in your config files. Now if you want to enable, let's say, the fly mod, open up config.txt and scroll down about 3/4 of the way through. You'll see down here there is the fly mod. Most of the time people download this mod pack just to use that. I must have gone past it. I'm just going to do Control F and find fly. Okay, so it was about... Okay, so here is the fly mod, aka flying. If you want to enable it, just delete the hashtag in front of here, and then put in some of these references. So right now it's FEQ to use it. Now the toggle just means you don't need separate keys for on and off, and E and Q mean flying up and down. L shift is normally the default. I don't like it that much because I use it for sneaking, but you can always replace this with another key, like R shift instead. Then you can implement speed modifiers. Each of these determine when you're pressing in the toggle or when flying is enabled, how fast are you going to be going. A lot of times it's good to keep it at 1.0 when you're normally flying, and maybe something like 5.0 with the modifier, in case you want to fly distance or just fly to build something upwards. So that's about it for this tutorial. If you run into any issues, please leave comments in the description, or if you want another tutorial similar to this about something other involving Minecraft, Macs, iPads, any device you've ever seen a video of on my channel, I'd be more than happy to give it. If, in certain situations, you have technical issues, like something isn't working on your computer, or something might be wrong with the config files, the folders, the directories, all that stuff, sometimes it can just be solved by a quick visit to the forum or an entry about the Zombies mod pack. But still feel free to just leave a comment in the description, and I can check it all out for you if you don't feel like it. That's about it for today. If you want to download compiled versions of the minecraft.jar files, in case something isn't working for you and you think it will for me, feel free to leave comments with that as well. I'd be more than happy. It's not like I'd lose anything from it anyway. Alright, well, see you guys later. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and check out my Minecraft server. Links in the description. Also, if you just go to insanej.com, there are some links there and a lot of cool things that you can check out involving me or Minecraft. Alright, see you guys later.